So we are playing as the French, and of course the South Vietnamese. Not sure how many reinforcements we're going to get. That's going to be interesting to find out. I'm not even sure which of these units are currently under our control. That's another issue here. They're definitely, the Viet Minh have a huge amount of units here, and they are absolutely trying to get us out. So we can see the French flag. We've definitely landed already. The question is, can we fight back against the Viet Minh attackers, or the North Vietnamese? I think calling them the North Vietnamese is a little disingenuous, because yes, most of them did come from North Vietnam, but again, the Viet Minh, unlike the Viet Cong, they're very, very closely related. But the Viet Minh were really interested mostly in just independence, whereas the Viet Cong were interested in more of independence, but under a communist government, led by Ho Chi Minh. So this is a bit different, a little bit different. You can definitely see the Viet Minh as more of a nationalist organization, not necessarily a communist one. And of course, there were plenty of communists amongst the leadership. You can see here the attacks by them. They're pushing all of our forces back from these villages surrounding the capital. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to come back and do much about this. This is a nasty situation for all of our men. This is the Tet Offensive, but much earlier Tet Offensive. Right, we're getting some air interdiction. Anytime you see a unit out there in the middle of nowhere and you see a little explosion happen, that usually means air interdiction, which means that one of our planes was flying over the area. They saw something a little fishy, maybe some weapons. They dropped a few bombs, and we got a few hits. That could also happen with artillery interdiction. In this case, though, I think it was air. It looks like that armored car managed to hold off the attack, but we'll soon find out. Man, talk about incredible attackers here. And these guys are some of the best. Okay, the CEFEO. Now, I don't know what the CEFEO stands for. Of course, we're playing as the French, but we are allied with the South Vietnamese. So I'm not sure if it's a connection or collaboration of both. Okay. So we've successfully defended a lot of different places. Let me get rid of that nasty lines. There we go. No, I don't want to do that. I want to take a look first at what kind of units we have here. So the Line de Latre. So these are definitely French units, almost certainly. And 1, 2, the amount of attack power these guys have is not very good. We also have the Legion, the French Legion. Oh, you bet I'm moving them forward. I see some enemy artillery there, so I think we should go ahead and take it on. We've also got the FAN. I think this is actually a riverboat, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like that would make sense. So for now, we're going to go ahead. We're going to plan an attack with the French Foreign Legion and a lot of bombers, a lot of air support here. So one thing we do have is the French. That's very helpful. Probably one of the reasons that the French were able to survive at Dien Bien Phu for as long as they did was the continuous air support, both dropping supplies and occasionally dropping some paratroopers, of course. You know, all those things help in a situation like this. I'm going to move forward with our Spagis Algériennes. Wow, Algerian units. So, of course, Algeria being, I believe, a colony of France at the time, this would make sense. I'm going to try and attack this massive group of enemies because we do have a few armored units. So I'm going to trust in the armor. Of course, we're in the jungle. Trusting in the armor may not be a good idea. And if you look at the probability of success here, it's very poor. Which means I'm just going to bring in more men. I'm going to keep on moving in troops and adding them to the attack because I want to win this one. I really do. I want to push back like a large group of Viet Minh troops. 2. Our cooperation is perfect. That's the good news. And probably because most of our men speak the same language. They speak French. I don't see any actual... oh, there we go. We have a few South Vietnamese units, but not many. It's mostly French units. Let's take this armored car. Oh, yes. And actually, sorry, it's not an armored car. We'll get a close look and see exactly what it is. Actually, it might be... It's a GM4. So we're going to select the GM4. Likelihood of success is still very poor. Can't believe that rhymed. And I'm going to keep on moving these guys forward. And I don't like these guys behind the lines, so I might need to deal with them immediately. Let's go ahead and hit this guy. It's just a regular infantry unit. I'm pretty sure we should be able to rout him out. As for these guys, I think they're going to have to dig in. There's really not much they can do. It looks like they are dug in, or else we would get a dig-in order here. Board train? No. Stay put. We're just going to stay put right there. We're not moving forward. No way. We could start moving over here. Sort of start moving into the mountain regions. I guess why not, right? I mean, the more land we cover is less land that the enemy's going to be able to take without us knowing about it. So I'll accept this as a pretty decent idea. As you can see, our guys don't have the best movement, but they're trying. They're trying. Poor guys. Let's go over here, and actually we'll assist with the attack on the artillery position. Légion des Lettres. The GAP2. GAP2 has got to refer to the South Vietnamese. So I'm actually going to do a group move here with a bunch of the South Vietnamese. Add them to that massive attack. That is going to be a brutal one, guys. This is going to be the attack to beat all attacks, without a doubt. I'm really hoping we're going to win. It's saying our chance of success is very poor, but we've seen that before, and things have gone really well. So you never really know. Let's take a look over here in the chat. Is not enough to represent feeling of losing all slits. Exactly, I agree with Pixel there. Don't let your slits slip away. Be a bit more careful with your slits. Okay, so NF Razan is asking which are the Foreign Legion units. So I believe they're these guys in the sort of lightest blue. I guess I would call it the lightest blue, and we can see there the Demi Brigade Legion. If we go over here to another light blue unit, for instance, we get the Line de Latre, another, I guess, Legion, part of the Legion, you could say. So we don't have a lot of Legion troops, but we've got a few, and I'm hoping that those few are going to make a big difference. I'm also going to group move with these units, and we're going to smash this massive unit of Viet Minh, since they're trapped, kind of trapped behind our lines. Not really trapped, but they've gotten themselves behind our lines in not a very advantageous position to them. And even with a bunch of armored cars, look at that, guys, our chances of victory are still low. You have to understand that these people understand this land. They understand this territory. They've lived here their entire lives. So even if we have technology on our side, and this is probably something that the Americans and the French both had difficulty understanding, it's not going to win you the war. You know, if you have, I think Ho Chi Minh, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of, for every 10 you kill of ours, we'll kill one of yours, and we'll still win the war. So basically for them, numbers aren't really important. You know, they don't care if you've got better technology, and if you kill a bunch of them, they're going to keep attacking. It's just going to keep on happening. And this particular conflict is a perfect description of that occurring. I mean, you can see these guys, they are charging from everywhere. A lot of them, or most of them I would say, are actually coming from the south. We also have some independent units here. I think these are militia units. Yeah, militia regiment south, etc. And they actually don't have the power to move. We also have some units over here on the southeastern coast that we can move up. And it looks like Quang Tri was recently taken over by the enemy, but we just took it back for France. So let's move up there. Let's be careful. We'll bring this Rafale. I believe this is an actual armored train. And let's attack this area. I don't know what's here. We just know that there's something here. The Rafale cannot attack, so we're just heading in with some infantry. It's not going to end well for these boys. And down here in the south, we've got other situations presenting themselves as well. So what is this? The Binh Xuyen? I think they're working for us. Not 100% sure. No, they're not. So the Binh Xuyen, I don't know what... If somebody wants to type this into Wikipedia, BINH, XUYEN. I'm not sure what kind of units these are. Obviously, they're working for the Viet Minh, but I don't think I've ever seen units like that before. So I'm going to actually bring this tank back, and I'm going to start hitting that unit because they're actually quite close to Saigon. As you guys know, Saigon is the capital of South Vietnam, or was the capital of South Vietnam. Let's see. No, they are in our group. That's very weird. Very, very weird. I see what's going on. Okay. Let's go ahead. No. What the heck? That is just weird. Okay, so they are part of our group. Not sure what the deal is there. Maybe somebody can find out. We do have quite a lot of tanks in this area, but in general, I think I want to keep these tanks grounded. I don't necessarily want to move them out of this area to the north, but if we need to, that's exactly what we'll do. In the meantime, move one of the tank divisions here, smash that infantry group. Come on, boys. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Oh, wait, we're French. We're not Americans. That's right. Let's go. Zone. Come on, boys. All right, I think we're going to end there, guys. Let's hope for the best. That's our men attacking. We actually did manage to move some of the enemies back. I'm really surprised, but our infantry actually did well there. Over here, the enemy held even inside the city. Over here, we managed to push them back, and I think that's because of the massive armored assault. All right, 60% of the turn remains. Let's see how these attacks went. You know, some not so bad. Take a look at this one right here. We managed to actually zap a lot of the enemy. But if you look at this one, for instance, 9%, 9%, and you can see the tremendous amount of actual back and forth action happening here. Another interesting thing here, you can actually see that we have some Thai units fighting with us. And this is not strange at all. In fact, there's two countries that provided a tremendous amount of support to the South Vietnamese. And actually, my father, who was a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army, saw one of these countries' soldiers in action a lot, and that is South Korea and Thailand. Both would send soldiers to assist in fighting the communists, or in this case, in fighting the independent Viet Minh, I guess you could call them, what would be the correct word here? The anti-colonialists, yeah, would be the correct word. So it was very common. There were also a few mountain tribes. One of them was called the Montagnards that lived in central Vietnam, but actually they helped the Americans and the French, and that's why they were called, of course, the Montagnards, mountain men. They were big fans, or as Borat would say, big fannies of the French. You know, they were really fans of these guys, and they would do just about anything for them. So we've got a lot of people fighting on our side here. At the same time, we got a lot of enemies fighting against us, and as you can see, they are well equipped. So I'm going to be sending in a tremendous amount of success. This attack is not supposed to be successful, but obviously if we could cut off that infantry unit, we can move over here to Tay Nguyen. Obviously, if we keep going all the way north, that's proper North Vietnam, but Tay Nguyen is a definite strong point for the VC, or excuse me, the VH in this particular setting. It looks like these troops, yeah, they don't have a lot of movement left in them. The Ligne de Lettres, I think these are our South Vietnamese allies. They're not moving a lot. It's minimal. So yeah, we can move this guy up the river. That's kind of cool. I do like the riverboats. I've never used a riverboat in an attack, but there's always a first time for everything, right? This guy can move quite a lot. Let's see if we can add him to this attack. That would be hilarious. I don't think we can. No, these guys have had their fill of battle for this turn. When we were facing the Turks, our guys were willing to attack multiple times, but we're facing the Viet Minh. After one day of fighting, our guys are just... I mean, just imagine the weather, the temperatures. Our guys are beat, man. They don't want to fight anymore, even after a victory. Okay, I'm going to send these guys in. I would like to bring some more reinforcements here. I do believe we have some artillery, but I'm not sure if it's going to be able to add itself to this attack. Yeah, it can. But see, since it moved, it's only going to give that 50%, unfortunately. Let's move this river boat right there. Ooh. I'm not about to lead an attack against the enemies here. They're way too strong. There are too many of them. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I guess those are questions that probably be revealed in time. Move this ship over here. No, we can't fire at him. He's too far off the coast, man. I'm so annoyed by this infantry unit. I'm going to attack again. I don't like the fact that this guy is, like, really close to our lines. And just flagrantly, like, showing us, like, yeah, I'm here. What are you going to do about it? Sort of thing. I'm not happy about that. So I'm even sending in some English battalion. Could these possibly be English troops? There's no way. It's not possible. Colonial English battalion, that's possible, maybe. Maybe some sort of mercenary company. I'm not sure. But they're going to help. Yeah, Colonial Artillery Regiment. Okay, I think this makes sense. So it's colonial regiments in general. And let's bring in the boat. Oh yeah, we can use our boat, guys. We can use that PT boat. The rest of these guys stay put. I'm going to make a distinction there. Again, we've got to keep expanding out. Turtling in this scenario, I think, is one surefire way to get beaten. You've got to keep on expanding as best you can. So one option is moving these tanks up north. I think that's going to take way too long. I'd rather go ahead and move them over here and engage the enemy that's harassing us here in the south. I think in the south we can hold on pretty well. We've got a lot of reinforcements here. We've got these weird Bingjuan units. I'm not sure what they're about, but it seems to me that we could probably do a pretty good job down here. Let's see if that's true. Of course, we're going to bring in some air support for this assault. All we know now, we don't even know the kind of unit. We just know that there is some enemy infantry in this jungle area somewhere. We do the same over here with these guys near Mokwa. And if we can find TOAW here, that would be really cool. That's the base my dad was at. It would be somewhere close to the coast. I think we're going a little too far north. Maybe not. There's Quezon. So Quezon, of course, many people should know about the Battle of Quezon. I'll have to ask him next time. It's somewhere, I would guess, near the coast here. We saw it on our other Let's Play as the Americans. We're not seeing it here. So let's end the turn. Yeah, I think the best thing to do now is end the turn and hope that the enemy doesn't keep sending these massive waves towards us. I am tempted to lead an attack at that village, but I know better by now. You know, we'll dig in. We'll wait for the enemy to launch their attack against us. So let's end that turn right there. There's our armored attack. Nice. Managed to win by Mokwa. But you can see there what the Viet Minh do is they'll retreat, but then when you actually follow them in the retreat, they'll actually lead you deeper into their lines, and then their buddies will start attacking you. It almost reminds me of Field of Glory 2 and the tactics that the Huns use. They'll draw you out, make you think you're winning the battle. All of a sudden, your men will charge into that space, be all happy, like, oh, we've got this one. And then suddenly, all of these other units surrounding them are going to just go ahead and smash your guy. You can see here we did some dramatic damage, especially right there. Major attack, the Roussillon bombardment, the Limousin bombardment, and the Saint-Toaw bombardment. We did a tremendous amount of artillery damage to these guys. Just look at that, man. utter destruction. But even destroying this many Viet Minh, it doesn't hurt their numbers at all. And we're about to end this turn and turn it over to them. So obviously, we have a lot of things we have to do. It's going to be our turn. We've got some reinforcements, some theater operations. The good news there was that it doesn't look like the Viet Minh really did many movements. But man, that is a scary situation without a doubt. You can see this is really the area we're defending. Anyway, guys, we are coming down to the end of this stream. I hope you guys had a fun time. Sorry about that break in the beginning of the stream with Turkey versus Greece, but I hope you guys even enjoyed that conflict. I found it really amusing, really fascinating conflict, one that I know nothing about, and I'm glad we got some feedback from the commenters letting us know about that conflict. That was really cool. As for this particular conflict, the Indochina conflict, we could continue it, but I'm going to tell you guys, this is one of the toughest campaigns in the game. It really is. Now, if you're playing as the Viet Minh, it's still tough. It's still a tough campaign, but it's a lot easier than if you're playing as the CEFEO. So keep that in mind, my friends.